What's going on, everybody? This is a video series that I want to start, and I'm going to be covering studies regarding the curve object in Blender, the curve modifier in Blender, and the array modifier, and making use of curves and arrays together to speed up your workflow and make things dynamic. We already have a lot of time and energy we spend into modeling things, making things look nice. And these tools are way more powerful than a lot of us give them credit for. And I feel like they're very misunderstood. The only reason I say that is because it took me forever to figure them out. And I have a lot to learn with them still. And they're extremely powerful. And in this is an overview video. I want to show the various studies that I want to plan, be able to cover in various videos. And I'll try to keep them in at one study per video, or maybe in a couple of studies or a couple of videos per study. And these are the things that I'm thinking about presenting. Give me feedback regarding if this is influential or not. But so for case study number 1, I want to cover putting an object on a curve, making it deform along a curve, and then adding other objects and arraying them with a curve. We'll talk about deformation and how to overcome deformation. Another case study, I want to be able to talk about making use of the array and curve object along with an empty to be able to do an offset. And we'll talk about twisting the curve and deformation issues. Talk about skin modifier as well that can be used in the workflow. Show a practical use case example, and this is a dark side model that I was building when I was very inexperienced with Blender, but I had enough experience to make something look kind of decent. And this is when I really started getting into curves and realizing how powerful they were. I was able to create tires using curves. I was able to create the chain link practical use case example using the curve, and even the exhaust piping was done using curves. And a mix of curve and arrays in this project. But I want to cover that in one study. This may seem like a really dumb topic, to be quite honest. This is a zip tie. But what this is using is not only a curve, but an array with a start and end cap. And it's dynamic in a way that as you move it around, it looks like a zip tie is actually doing something. So it's almost animating with a curve while it's dynamically moving. We'll cover that. I want to cover a practical use example for something like a zip tie. It may seem like a dumb object, but when you have it in a workflow, it actually makes your modeling look more believable. So I've got zip ties applied here because they're tied to curves. They're easy to adjust. And really, it's actually really fun in a workflow to work with this stuff. I have a wire that's made from a curve. All these hydraulic lines are made from curves. I've even got a curve and array combination going for a spring around a curve that is a hydraulic. I want to cover making use of multiple curves and arrays and multiple objects together to make something like a Jubilee band for holding objects together. So this will be probably a multi-video study. Also want to cover an add-on that makes use of curves in unique ways. And this is really cool because it gives you a nice, quick and dirty. You can connect it between two objects and scroll, see the options that you have. You can array and offset multiple curves in one fell swoop with piping. You can do similar with wires, and you can create some really cool, quick and dirty wire cable guards, wires, arrays of wires, springs around wires, telephone cords. We'll cover Fluent Power Trip with both piping and wires. This is a paid add-on on Blender Market. Well worth the money in my opinion. And we'll cover another complex topic for curves regarding hair and making use of curves with curves on their own settings as taper objects and bevel objects. And we'll cover some of these things as well in other in other topics, but this is making use of one to make cartoon hair. And it can take in shading information, making cartoon stylized looks. So if this is something you're interested in, I definitely I'm looking forward to presenting this, and we'll start with curves and arrays in this case study number 1. So look forward to the next video where I cover this. Thanks, guys.